Just to get a reference check, is anyone from the industry part of television or newspaper or digital? Anyone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the rest of you are students studying somewhere? From where? What do you do? Anyone can speak up. So the guy in the blue check with the specs. Oh, lovely. So it is related to the field. So it's more on the reporting side. All of you reporting side journalism. So accordingly, and try and use less. Sorry, the lady had something to say. मास कॉम एंड जर्नलिज्म. तो ठीक है, ये थोड़ा बोरिंग होगा सेशन, पहले बता देता हूँ. इट्स ऑल डेटा डेटा डेटा. इट्स टेरिबली बोरिंग, बट आई विल ट्राई एंड एक्सप्लेन टू यू व्हाट दैट बेसिकली मीन्स एंड हाउ इट विल बी रेलेवेंट. सो आप लोग इवेंचुअली यू कैन प्लीज सिट, नो प्रॉब्लम. आफ्टर यू हैव डन योर एजुकेशन, यू विल बी प्रॉब्ली वर्किंग इन सम मीडिया हाउस, है ना. या तो कोई चैनल होगा, या कोई OTT प्लेटफॉर्म, न्यूज़ चैनल, और सम पब्लिशर इज द वर्ड दैट वी जनरली यूज़. सो अभी ये थोड़ा नंबर्स हैं. दिस इज मोर टू डू विद रेवेन्यूज एंड हाउ द इंडस्ट्री इज इवॉल्विंग. पहले अभी तक आपके घर में सबके केबल आता होगा, केबल टीवी. यू ऑल हैड ए केबल टीवी. या सो आई एम ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू वेक यू अप लाइक द लेडी वाज ट्राइंग टू डू इट, बट आई एम सो केबल टीवी था अभी तक, टाटा स्काई, DTH केबल. अब धीरे धीरे केबल इज डिक्लाइनिंग एंड अब वही कंटेंट, आज तक हो, ABP हो, या कोई भी चैनल हो, यू कैन सी इट थ्रू द नेट. अपने मोबाइल पे देख सकते हो आप. You don't need a wire. You can watch it on the metro or anything. So that consumption is all called digital consumption, right? So everything is happening digitally. और digital का दूसरा number is also something called OTT, over the top. Over the top मतलब it can go directly, right? So that also is quite a way to look at it. Just give me 1 second before. Digital का दूसरा word is something also called OTT, over the top. So आप जो भी अभी consume कर रहे हो, उसमें कोई intermediary नहीं है. So there is a channel which is uplinking content. It goes to some server somewhere and you are downloading it. That's all digital. So what is happening over the last many years, till about 5-10 years ago, digital था ही नहीं. सारी consumption cable के through होती थी. Has anyone heard of World Space Radio? Who has heard of World Space Radio? Okay, World Space Radio was a big endeavor where they're trying to give you radio through a satellite, right? लेकिन unfortunately फिर internet आ गया. जब internet आ गया, जरूरत नहीं, तो it died a natural death. For example, like a camera, you've seen cameras which have a film. This generation, the front generation would have, right? Sir, आपने तो देखा होगा, आपने तो देखा ही होगा. You still have it. Okay, so पहले cameras होते थे. In the camera, what did you have to do? You had to insert a reel. उस reel में 20 फोटो, 24 फोटो, 36 आती थी, 2 dozen or 3 dozen photos. Now with digital, you don't need any of that, right? You only need to click and you get the picture. So all of you are aware of touch screens and digital. So these are all part of the digital revolution, जो मेरे हिसाब से अभी भी चल रहा है. It's in a very nascent stage, but it's gradually going to evolve. So the revenues of digital, if you look at the red line across the industry, this is in billion rupees. 1 billion मतलब 100 crore. Right, so this is digital media is almost touching 1 lakh crore, which is about 1000 billion rupees, and digital has already crossed cable or linear TV, and linear TV is the blue one. So blue line भी गिर नहीं रही. Blue line मतलब जो भी आप content through TV देखते हो, which is a linear broadcast through a cable connection, which is mostly stagnant at about 75,000 crores or 750 billion रुपीज. लेकिन इसमें की टेक अवे क्या है कि जो नीली लाइन है, द टेलीविजन इज स्टैग्नेंट एंड डिजिटल इज कॉन्स्टेंटली ग्रोइंग, क्योंकि सारी कंजम्पशन धीरे धीरे डिजिटल पे आ रही है, राइट. सो यू सी अ लॉट ऑफ न्यूज शोज. देयर इज अ वेरी नाइस शो ऑन सोनी लिव which has replaced Kapil Sharma. Anyone has seen that? Sorry? The Zakir show, right? So to watch the Zakir show, 90% of people, or in fact Sony Live is a digital application. The entire consumption of the Zakir show is happening through TV or through digital. Who said Zakir? It's happening through digital or through TV? नहीं digital में हुआ ना, क्योंकि TV मतलब there is a digital, there is a connection which is a cable connection or something, उसको TV कहते हैं. TV जो घर में TV वो तो constant ही रहेगा TV, but उसका चल कैसे रहा है, नेट के थ्रू आ रहा है ना वो consumption. So anything that is coming through the net is called digital or over the top. What is your name? Amrose. Okay. So Amrose, anything that happens through the net is called over the top or digital. Got it? So TV is something where TV is the device, but the consumption is what is changing. So when we refer to television, we refer to consumption through a wire, and when we refer to digital, we refer to consumption without a wire broadly, which is over the top, internet. So internet is gradually growing. Now from 4G we already moved to 5G, right? So eventually it's growing. Hopefully next will be 6, 7, 8, 9G, God knows how many Gs, but it's going to keep speeding up. 20 years ago, one photo used to take time to send. हम SMS में भेजते थे. Now we are transferring videos at 0 buffer speed. So it's all digital that is growing. If you look at the trends, television versus digital media, which is what the consumption is about, because digital is primarily eating out of television. So television versus digital media, television is constantly growing and it has already beaten digital. So if you look at the red box, so digital is at about 71,000 crores or 72,000 crores vis-a-vis digital media at 75,000 crore rupees. Is that a big number? Lot of money, right? 75, no, not a big number. Okay, so television, right, you're actually right. It's a small number because television, media and entertainment देखने में बड़ा लगता है, but if you look at the rest of the industry, it's a very small industry. If you go to Bombay, ये जो amount है 75,000 crore से 4-5 building में cover हो जाएगा. If you go to South Bombay, the cost of a building is some 10-15,000 crores. So it's a very small industry, but it's very impactful. That's why you see the most powerful people in the country will want to or already own a media house because it's the voice, it's something that you communicate with. Politics as well, I'll come to Q&A in the end. Politics as well, the primary objective of politicians or politics is to remain in power, and to do that, what you need is you need access and you need a voice which comes through a media background. So that's what it is. So that's how media is growing. Looking at segment within digital television, digital is mostly, आप लोग जो applications लेते हो, mostly are they free or are they pay? Mostly. Yeah, so YouTube, are you guys paying or are you doing a basic version? Basic version. So the biggest, YouTube has about 2.7 billion average monthly users and all of them are free. Once you pay a premium, which is called a freemium version, you get into a pay model. So majority of advertising revenues are skewed towards digital. Digital का business ही advertising पे चलता है, television subscription पे चलता है. If you are a Tata Sky or a Hathway connection, sir, where are you from? Which part of the country? So you would have had a cable or a DTH connection, ना? तो उसका आप महीने का 300 रुपए दे रहे थे. Digital is mostly free. There is not much to pay, right? So digital is an advertising skew. And if you look at the subscription revenues, subscriptions are mostly on the television side. तो ये जो ऊपर जो television में subscription numbers हैं, वो आपके Tata Sky या Hathway या City Cable के connection है. And on the digital side, the subscription numbers are mostly low. So the takeaway from these slides are television or linear or analog consumption is mostly subscription driven. आप पैसा देते हो, आप subscribe करते हो. Digital के case में mostly it is free. Most of your applications like Netflix or Amazon are pay. But then you've got Jio, which is free, the basic version. You've got Sony Live, big applications which are mostly free. And the volume comes from free. So India is mostly a market which likes things which are free. है ना, तो फ्री का सबको अच्छा लगता है, तो फ्री इज व्हाट फ्लाइज एंड व्हेन यू हैव टू पे सडनली वॉल्यूम गिर जाता है. दैट्स व्हाट इट इज, राइट? सो दैट्स द एंटायर टेलीविजन. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्लाइड, आई विल शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू गाइज. यू कैन राइट इन टू मी आफ्टर यू हैव डन दिस. बट केबल एंड सैटेलाइट मतलब अगेन टाटा स्काई या कोई भी केबल लगी हुई है, दैट यूनिवर्स इज एट अबाउट, दैट्स ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड, 725 मिलियन. एक घर में एवरेज कितने लोग होते हैं ऑन एन एवरेज? 4. सो द नेशनल एवरेज इज अबाउट 4.2. साउथ में कम है, नॉर्थ में ज्यादा है, कई पॉकेट्स में कम है ज्यादा, बट नेशनल एवरेज कुड बी अबाउट 4. यस, नहीं, इट इज नॉट कि एक घर में 4.25 लोग हैं, एवरेज है. किसी में 5 हैं, किसी में 4 है, बट यू डू अ सिंपल एवरेज इज 4.2, राइट? बट दैट इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन. आई एम ग्लैड यू आस्क्ड इट, राइट? So you don't have 0.2 people in every single house. So the national average is about 4.2. If you take the total number of people in the country, simple average divided by the total number of homes. Metros में average ज़्यादा होगा या कम होगा? Delhi, Bombay में कम होगा. Nuclear families, you know, people are staying alone, one husband, wife, and one child, parents alone. If you go to rural areas, the household size is big because it's a joint family. So if you look at the total number of cable and satellite individuals is 725 million divided by 4.2. So about 200 million or 180 million cable and satellite homes. Internet users are much higher, at about 888 million. Who does not have an internet connection in this room? So let me put another question. Who has an internet connection in this room? Everyone has an internet connection. Everyone has a smartphone. आपके पास smartphone होगा, the camera guy. You have a smartphone ना? WhatsApp वगैरह देखते रहते हो, correct? So अभी WhatsApp ही देख रहे थे. So everyone has an internet connection. There is no one who does not have an internet connection. That is the power of the net, because everything is viable, and that's on the right side. So the right, your right side, which is the blue line, is fast hitting the red side. Incremental reach is what I was meant to talk about. मैं फिर भी समझा देता हूँ क्या है. Incremental reach मतलब न्यूज़ चैनल को देखता है आप में से कोई भी? Any news channel? Which one, sir? India Today. So you watch India Today and any other channel? Network 18. Which channel in Network 18? CNN News. हिंदी चैनल भी देखते होंगे कोई? I'm sure. News 24. अच्छा, very good. So ये सब channels हैं. ये जब पहले आप केबल पे देखते थे, अब धीरे धीरे you are watching them on OTT. इन सबकी अपनी applications हैं. Plus they are also available on YouTube. So you can watch them on either way. Now what is incremental reach? You know the meaning of incremental? Incremental का synonym? Extra. Right? So incremental reach माने अगर 100 लोग केबल पे देख रहे हैं तो आज की डेट में 21 लोग उसी कंटेंट को OTT पे देख रहे हैं, या तो YouTube हो या थर्ड पार्टी एप्लीकेशन हो. एंड देयर आर बेसिकली 3 ways of watching digital. So if you watch a News 24, so you will watch News 24 either through cable or you will watch it through its native application, जो News 24 की application है, or you will watch it on YouTube or a third party app. Third party app could be Samsung or could be a distro TV or multiple applications. So these are the source. The additional reach that you are getting out of digital is almost 22%. For example, News 18, someone mentioned News 18, right? So Network 18, News 18 gets about cable pe 235 million people watch it in a month, and digital is at about another 50 million, which is about 25%. Incremental reach for Aaj Tak, for example, is almost 48%. So 195 watch it on cable, which comes from Bark, which is the TRP agency. My company Chrome gives the digital reach, which comes at about 94 million. So 94 divided by 94 plus 195. Total is 195 plus 94, right? So uska jo percentage that comes to about 48%. Republic ko nahi dekhta? So there are people who watch Republic and all, right? So Republic gets about 38%. One of the fastest growing promoter driven brands, Arnab, right? He just made a big brand in the last 5 years. Right, but it's doing phenomenally well. जितने भी legacy brands हैं 20-25 साल पुराने, आज तक, ABP, Zee, India TV, Republic is just 5 years old, right? It's reaching pretty much the same number of audiences, so hugely competitive. So one thing for all the fellow students is to take away, on an average in India, news is so heavily consumed, on an average in 1 month, some 250 million people watch a news channel for at least a minute. That is the volume. अब इतने सारे लोग देखते हैं, इसलिए उसमें ads आते हैं, इसलिए उसमें ads आते हैं, that's how the money gets generated. That's the entire business model. India TV, someone mentioned. So India TV gets about 29% incremental reach. Times Now, Bharat 37%. So these are some examples which will interest people from the industry. I was hoping to see some of my friends from the industry, but I think they're all napping after lunch. ABP News, for example, gets 34% incremental reach, which is 150 million के ऊपर 51% more people watch it digitally. That's the digital number that goes out. Doordarshan, DD is again all digital as well. Does anyone know DD? No. Very good, yeah. Can you repeat your name again? Amrose. Amrose, you watch Doordarshan? Lovely, that's so cool. So where do you watch it? On YouTube or you watch it on what? Very good, yeah. So we have Doordarshan. I'm going to share this with Gaurav, who's a friend, who's the head of Prasar Bharati DD. But good to see there are people from the student fraternity watching Doordarshan. So DD gets consumed digitally as well. Now what is very interesting for all of you to understand, when you go to media houses is a lot of businesses, as per the regulations, if it is especially the news business, it has to be owned by an Indian entity for logical reasoning, right? Because if it's an Indian business operating in India, especially in the news, वो Indians के पास ही होना चाहिए. लेकिन अभी क्या हो रहा है, आपकी जो न्यूज़ कंजम्पशन भी हो रही है ना, that is happening with the big four, which is called gamma. You know what's the full form of gamma? Okay, so gamma is G is for Google. I'm saying global giants, and these companies are bigger than the economies of many of our neighbors, right? Without naming the neighbors, right? So, okay, so gamma would mean G is for Google, A for Amazon, and M, Meta, and the fourth A, Apple. These are the big four, right? They're ruling the world today. Practically all of you spend a major chunk of your time and a major chunk of your money on one of the four, which is gamma. That's how big they are. Uska result kya ho raha hai? Dhire dhire even the news industry is getting dependent on them. Why? Because if you're watching News 18, someone mentioned, right? If you're watching News 18 on YouTube, the ownership lies with YouTube is owned by Google, right? So the revenue of your viewership comes from Google to Network 18. So iska matlab dependency depends on gamma, right? One of the four big players. So that's a little bit of a challenge which is happening. So foreign dominance is something which the government is also very concerned about, and you in the reporting business eventually might also be concerned about, because tomorrow the owner of the company you work for or your chief editor might tell you kya news carry karni hai, but Mark Zuckerberg will have a bigger say on what to say because he will be giving you the money to run the business, right? So that's a bit of a challenge. So that's the political side of how business is operating. Any guesses on the largest media company in India today? Okay, besides you, anyone else? Huh? Very good, very good. Times Group, and who else? Take more names. So big companies in India, right? Right. Network 18. They're all big companies. Reliance. So the hint was in the previous slide. Pehle hua karta tha. Times Group was the biggest till about 10, 12 years ago. Now the biggest companies in India is Meta. Right? So Meta alone is bigger than all the big companies in India. So this is something to really worry about. The fact is we are one of the world's biggest democracies, the world's second largest population, yet we consume media on a third party owned platform, right? So Meta is there, Disney plus Star is gone behind, all Jio is still yet to take over, but Google India is bigger. Google, Meta, these are the big four. Gamma. Yeah, this is 2022. The numbers have gone even higher. Sorry. Top line. Total revenue, right? So that's how the numbers are. So the numbers are only exploding. I'll share the slides with you. The key takeaway from this slide is someone said Times. Who had said Times? I think that was right. So Times tha. और अभी perception है, लेकिन अब वो time चला गया. It's just moving, you know, things are moving very fast. Cable and satellite माने all the connection of Hathway, City Cable, जो भी आपके घर cable operator महीने में 200 रुपए लेता था. That numbers are declining from 201 million. That's come to almost 159 million. So that number is declining. Cable and satellite every day. Many of you had a connection, और जो नहीं है अभी कोई होगा cord cutter. It's called a cord cutter. You had a connection earlier, you've removed that completely, now you're on OTT. So, yeah, so you guys are the cause for that number coming from 201 to 1659. And gradually it will keep decreasing because more and Popper will find you as well, yes. Amrose. Cable and satellite was always growing till there is no logical reasoning. I think it could be more and more people who are at home post-COVID and all. So they probably got more connections. So I don't have a right exact answer for that. But till 2019, the numbers were only growing, and they kept growing till 2021. 2020 took a dip. I think the major dip that happened, the anomaly here is this one, which primarily would have happened because of COVID. So you would have seen a relative hike, but the drop happened. So that's how the numbers have grown. I'll just move back a slide. Am I operating it from here? Yeah, so the numbers would only go, is this working? So anyway, so we'll move forward. So that's how the cable and satellite trend is going, right? So Amrose, that was a good question. the numbers are only going up as far as cable and satellite is concerned, but with the onslaught of digital, with more and more digital platforms kicking in, bandwidth costs crashing, people are consuming the same content through digital means, which is again something called an OTT as well. That's broadly what it is. And so you know what a connected TV is, anyone? CTV? Amroz, you should know it, since you know everything. Right, so close, so very close. So I'll tell you what happens. So पहले TV होते थे, it was something called a CRT, जो डब्बा सा नहीं आता था, cathode ray tube, उसमें एक अंदर से internally there is a big डब्बा, and you used to have a projection, a small 10, 15, 20 inch. I was, I think, 6 or 7. My dad got a Sony TV from Japan. It was not even a color TV, it was a black and white TV. It was this big and it had a big white thing inside, and that was when the entire neighborhood had come and watched TV. That was called a CRT, which is a cathode CRT, and then you graduated to LEDs, LCDs, plasma screens. अब क्या हो रहा है is something called a connected TV. Connected TV is not only a smart TV. A smart TV could be a connected TV, which basically means any TV that can be connected to the net. So it does not need a device, right? So if it's connected to the net, you can watch your Netflix, Hotstar, any news channel or any form of content directly on the TV. So connected TVs are only growing, right? So from 5.7 million less than half a decade ago, currently we have about 70 million connected TVs in India, right? Which is a huge, huge number. And anyone who buys a TV today is connected. Why will you buy a TV which does not have internet access, right? So connected is constantly growing every single day as you move forward. It is projected that the number is gonna cross in the next 5 years. Every TV would be a connected TV. अच्छा, connected TV का एक बड़ा interesting fact है. Either the connected TV is connected internally, right, or it is connected through an external device, and I'll walk you through the data. So you can use your phone to get internet. You have a hotspot on your phone, right? So a connected TV through a hotspot becomes smart. So 43% of people use hotspots for connected TVs. Wi-Fi's come at about 40%. Smart box and other external devices, but I'll give you a gist of that. So if you look at the left, on your right side, you heard of Tata Sky? So Tata Sky is now Tata Play, right? So Tata Play, Binge, Samsung, these are all internal. If you start off with Samsung, if you look at the right side, so right all the way from Samsung to Android, LG, Patchwall, Google, OnePlus, these are all internally connected within the system, within your television. So you have smart TVs, right? What TV do you have, Amroz, at home? Which one? What's the brand? Okay, any of your friends, anyone who has a TV at home, what brand of TV do you have? Sony. So Samsung. So Samsung has got Tizen as a software. So you'll have your own operating system, and the choice of channels that you get on your Samsung would be different from the choice of channels that I get on my MI TV. So broadcasters and news channels, for example, spend huge amounts of money to make themselves available across different brands. So the ones on the right hand side, which is right from Samsung all the way till all the internal ones, which is OnePlus, are all internally connected. और जो TV internally smart नहीं होता, उसको आप externally you can add a device, and that device is something called like a Airtel Extreme or a Comcast or Amazon Fire Stick. So these are externally connected devices. These are huge numbers of data, but the bell is going, so I'll skip through that. Cord cutters. We had 2 cord cutters in the room, right? So the 2 of you, right? So cord cutters, people who had a cable and satellite connection and no longer do, that number is on the top, and then you've got pay TV plus CTV, which is connected TVs. You've got a huge amount of data. But the key takeaway here is, we said India is a free market, right? But within the free guys, the North and the East guys to be fascinated by free. So 40% of North India is on free dish, which is completely free. 38% of North is free. 40% of East is on free TV completely. If you go to South and West, you see a different trend. People are on a pay TV, right? So pay TV would be a cable connection or something that they pay for. And connected devices, which is pay plus CTV, stands at about 25% all across the country. So that's how the trends are evolving on pay plus connected TV. Same data in a more tabular form, more detail, but that's the future. So we spoke about connected TVs. Connected TVs are only bound to grow. So the red dots is connected TVs. So by 2027, in another 3 years, you will have approximately 350 million TV homes, right? So on an average 4.2 homes, 4.2 people per home. So 350 into 4.2 comes to about 1500, which is about 150 crore ki population, and everyone of them, most of them have a TV, and every TV is a connected TV because all the existing TVs will go obsolete as you move along. And that's what it is. So all the data that comes out tells you about the platforms, but these are interesting data which we'll quickly zip through. Hotstar, for example, gets about 135 million unique viewers in a quarter. That's the number of people. And you must be watching some kind of platform, right? Top shows of 2023, you would have seen this content. That's broadly what it is. But I will just add one slide since we've got, we'll wrap up in a minute. Can you just go back on the thing? Just go back to the incremental slides. We're done, just 1 second. Go on the incremental reach. Usme, we had individual channels. Okay, forget, I'll show it offhand, let's forget it. So that's broadly what it is, and the future is all about connected TVs, and that's how it's going to pan out. So every TV as we move along from now onwards is practically connected. That's the power of internet, and I hope you found this interesting, especially Amrose, right, and your friends. You seem to be the group leader. Thank you guys.